you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hello. Who are you again?
I'm honestly not sure after this break. I've had too much time to relax.
You're a new person.
I'm changed. I just want to go back to break.
It's been like 3 weeks since we've recorded.
I know. Because, of course, illness struck me down again.
Got struck down
but it was
again.
a different sort of illness. It was just like...
No, it was still upper respiratory.
It was a different sort of illness in that it was just something I caught on the street. Like it wasn't caused by my upper respiratory issues. It was just the weather, being around a lot of people for the holidays. It came through our whole family. So it wasn't my standard self-generated
But you
illness.
got it worse than anyone.
Worse than everyone.
Yeah. That happened to my mother-in-law. She got absolutely steamrolled by some upper respiratory something. It was bronchitis, actually.
It's the worst. We were at dinner with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law last night, and I said to her, I think a specific cousin's baby is the one who got us all sick.
Oh.
And she agreed. And we were all like smushing our faces on this baby. Like,
and the baby was sick?
We didn't know. But then a couple days later, randomly, his mom posted like, he's not doing well. We're taking him to the pediatrician. And I was like, uh-huh.
She posted this publicly?
Yes.
Just like he's got a cold.
He ended up then going to the ER, sadly. Like,
did he have RSV?
He did not have RSV. They tested him for pneumonia, but it ended up just being like a very severe upper respiratory infection. She's an avid poster about her baby.
Like if her baby has a cough, she's like, we're going to the pediatrician today.
Yes. Like, but she's just an avid poster in general. Like I can't relate. Like she's like went to the gym, went to the zoo, but like literally Abby and I had our faces like all over him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you take one photo at Christmas? Because I did not.
No.
Like, you know how people take like group shots?
Yeah.
Like I took pictures of Jack opening gifts.
Yeah.
But like when you're all like dressed up and like, you know, Christmas, whatever, people are like, get together for a picture. It's like, no.
You're weird about photos though.
In what way?
That you never want them to be taken and they annoy you at the suggestion.
No, it's not that I don't want them to be taken. You make it sound like I'm like like
on the
Hannibal
run.
Lecter.
No, it sounds like you're in witness protection.
It's not that I don't want them to be taken. It's that like I don't appreciate when you're in the middle of like doing something or a conversation and you have to like stop to then take a photo. It's like you can't turn back and have the same conversation.
But eventually you'll want those photos, which you'll have none of.
I'll have so many because everyone around me is always bothering me for pictures.
No, I don't anymore. Do you remember when I used to take photos all the time?
Yes.
I don't. You're welcome.
No, you still do.
No, I don't. I never take group photos. I want to, but I don't.
In what instance would we take a group photo when you see someone every day?
No, not
Get together.
Not you and I, but I mean like when we do like our supper clubs, it'd be nice to have a photo.
Oh God, that's something that's normal. That's just a normal thing that we do.
Okay, but
you want a photo at that?
40 years when we're all old, it's nice to say like the gang at supper club. We won't have the gang at supper club.
I think actually that waiter took one of all of us.
Oh, good.
No,
Well,
remember?
no.
He was like, "Do you guys want a photo?" And we were like, "I guess."
Well, I have no idea where that is because it didn't.
Yeah, whose phone is that on?
I have no idea. But I'm just saying, I actually am going through this. Well, not going through this, but after my grandma passed away, we got a ton of tubs of photos from like her basement and everything. And I took it upon myself because I knew it would sit in my mom's apartment until the end of time and it would eventually be my problem anyways.
Of course.
So I was like, let's just take the bull by the horns. So I went through 9 Rubbermaid tubs of family photos, whittled it down to 3, pat on the back for me. And there's so many like cute photos that we never take those anymore, but it was like a big deal and people had cameras. So like I found a bunch of photos of like Mo playing cards with like all of her girlfriends who sadly most of them are gone. And like my grandma took a lot of photos when they would have like dinners in the basement at their old house on 3030 21st Place. And like I was thinking, actually, it's funny you brought this up. I was like, I don't have any of these like casual photos. Like it was a bigger deal to take photos then. So you did it more often, even in casual settings, where now we have it at our fingertips. So we like abuse it.
I mean, sure. I'm more of a fan of a candid photo. Like funny things are happening, capture the moment there. But I don't really like when like you're at like this happened at Christmas. We're at like a random table and then some random aunt is like just taking pictures. People they're not telling people to smile.
Well, that's weird.
Like it's just like just documenting the way this room looks for myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to come. I think we've been inundated with photos, so we've lost the need to take them, and we're going to regret that one day.
You love to hammer that home. I feel like I continue taking photos for you, even though you think you've dialed back. So
You really, I would be honest. I really don't ask for photos that often. One, because I know
because
you don't.
it used to be every single day.
No, because I know you don't really like them, and like 99% of the time, I don't like them either. I'm like, this photo sucks, so I'm like not going to do anything with it. But I have way more photos of college, obviously, than I have of anything after.
I just don't understand. There's not really a need to take photos of the everyday. Like when we go on a trip, we take a picture.
I actually don't think we do. We have no photos from LA.
The one is your background right now.
From years. Oh, okay.
No, that's from our most recent trip.
Okay, we took one
The
photo.
background on your phone is no, we didn't. I have so many pictures of that.
Okay, I see your point.
Liar.
I forgot about that specific day we went on a hike. Okay. Sue me.
Okay.
Anywho's, outside of the lack of photos happening.
I feel like every time we take a picture, I'm like, oh, that's cute. And you're like, I hate how I look in this. And then the photo goes nowhere.
I was telling Tyler, I just need 6 months. Like, I hate every photo at first, and then I soften on it in 6 months.
So delete nothing.
Yeah, like I was going through photos the other day, actually from that trip. So it's ironic that I just tried to say we didn't have any photos. I apologize. And I was like, wait, I actually like these photos. But I hated them at the time. I'm just my harshest critic, you know?
Of course, always. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's also your timing on photo requests.
Oh.
Like let's say the four of us are sitting around at dinner.
Yeah.
And then you're like we had a make your own pizza night.
Yeah.
We're all sitting around at dinner and then you're like, we're in the middle of a conversation. You're like, we should take a picture to document this. It's like we are in the middle of talking about something.
Well, there aren't typically long periods of silence. That would be uncomfortable.
Any silence would be a good time to jump in. Any at all. Just a quick pause. Think about that. And maybe we'd all be much more welcoming of your photo requests.
I'll keep them to myself.
So do you have anything to fill us in on from the break? Big news.
Actually, yes, our brother and sister-in-law got married on New Year's Eve, which was incredibly fun. And it kind of extended the holiday season because we went down to my mother-in-law's for Christmas, which was super fun, came back, and then turned right back around and had more family time. So that was great. They looked at me. It was actually super fun. I just was sick, which put a little bit of a damper.
I do have to mention, I think that you and your sister-in-law Gwen deserve a Medal of Honor, or is it a Purple Heart? For enduring an injury.
What is it for?
Yes, for staying. How many days did Gwen stay at your mother-in-law's house?
She stayed for like 10 days.
That's actually...
I don't want to stay anywhere for 10 days. I don't want to stay...
At the Taj Mahal.
At the Taj. I don't want to stay at the Ritz Paris.
For 10 days.
For 10 days.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I want to go home. No place like home. Call me Dorothy, but there is no place like home. Yeah. Gwen stayed for 10 days.
Well, Gwen stayed at your mother-in-law's house for 10 days, and we love your mother-in-law.
Obsessed.
But I mean, that is just... That's not even real life.
Being out of your element for that long, it's like you have to pack for 10 days. You're living out of bags for 10 days. It's crazy. They live too far away to like go and come back. I was, especially because I got sick, I was really grateful that we came back home. We all love being together and it's actually really fun. Obviously, I grew up as an only child, so I love being with all my in-laws. We play games and do whatever. But then you're at the end, like I always say, I wish we all lived on the same street, because then you're going back after we have like a fun day. You're not in your room. You're not in your bathroom. You forget something. You don't have everything that you need. It's just like, I sound old, but like I like my bed.
Well, it's like how we hang out. Like we
Yes.
hang out until like,
Bedtime.
midnight on Friday night and then
Toot, toot,
meander
toot.
on home.
Yeah. No, I know. So we were all in the same house for most of the holidays, which was really fun. But
But not as much you as Gwen.
no, Gwen was there 10 days.
She's a hero.
She's a strong girl.
And I said Purple Heart because she got sick while
she
was
got
there.
sick. Yeah. No, like,
And I would have just been like, I think I might have to never come back here.
I think staying in anyone else's house, you would say 0 days. My
No.
max for staying in someone else's house is probably 4 nights. Not like a hotel, like staying in another person's house.
It depends on the person's house. My parents or my in-laws, I would be fine to stay in for who knows how long. I don't feel any pressure there.
Yeah.
But like in your house, I would be fine to stay at. You've stayed at my house for weeks.
I know we were in between homes.
And also, you used to stay at my parents' house all the time.
Yes. But I'm saying at this phase of my life. Not
Oh.
like when I was a kid, it didn't matter. Like I would go wherever.
Okay.
But I mean, like as an adult, I love my mother-in-law. I love being at my mother-in-law's house. I love being at your house. But like you hit a window where you're like, I want the free reign to like watch whatever show I want on this living room TV without asking someone else what they want to watch. Or I want to talk loudly on the phone. Like you have to be, even in the closest relationships, you have to be respectful of other people's home.
What's crazy is in a group of like family, there's always at least one person who's like, I've had too much togetherness.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like everyone would agree on who that person is.
So we had a beautiful holiday. We had a great wedding. They're married. Got the newest newlyweds. We saw them last night. They're loving post-wedding life. She was like, I loved having a wedding, but I don't miss planning. So we had a beautiful holiday season. Any updates on your end?
Just oddly enough, we were both at New Year's Eve weddings.
That's true. That was a coincidence.
Not the same weddings,
Different
but
weddings.
weddings nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your take on a New Year's Eve wedding?
I loved it as a guest.
Me too.
I don't as an event planner, I don't enjoy.
Well, yeah, because then you have to.
And
work
I
on
feel
New Year's.
bad for the people working. I kept feeling bad for like the bartenders. Like I was like, meh. But like as a guest, 10 out of 10. Didn't have to think about what we were doing on New Year's. Got to ring in the new year. It was the first time you and I have actually been apart for New Year's in probably 12 years.
Yeah, at least.
Outside you guys, we got to be with like all of our people, celebrate. 10 out of 10. What do you think?
I mean, I wanted to have a New Year's Eve wedding.
True.
So
COVID got in the way.
I think it's great. Like, yeah, you don't get to like do whatever the fuck you wanted to do. That was like go, out to dinner or like have a game night with whoever. But like, it's still like a celebration.
Totally. It's really fun.
I think it's fun.
I know. It was super fun. The countdown was fun.
Except the wedding we were at, the band kept, speaking of countdown, kept like saying how much longer until midnight. And then it would just like remind you like, oh, wow, we've got to be here a long time.
That is an excellent point. I actually do think the one downside is like I wouldn't normally be at a wedding until 12:30.
Yeah, you would. That's when weddings end.
It just felt like long.
Yeah, that's because you have to stay. But
Yes.
like, don't remind me of that.
Yeah.
I'm having fun until you just reminded me I have an hour and 42 minutes left.
Like I remember at like 10:30, I went to the bathroom and looked at my phone and was like,
Woo-wee.
oh, wow.
Yes. Also, another weird thing that the band did, did I tell you this?
What?
At the end, so like at midnight, they were done and then it transitioned to a DJ.
Yeah.
Totally fun. But they said, Happy New Year's, everyone. Thank you, Chicago, Illinois.
I hate when bands do that. Bands have been doing that a lot.
Chicago, Illinois? This is a wedding.
Yeah. It was in
It was
Oak Brook.
it
It was in a suburb. That's actually weirder. It was in a suburb.
Why are bands doing that?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's weird. I don't know why. I've been noticing that. recently.
You have?
I have, yeah.
They're doing it in other places?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if they think it's like more showy.
No. This is not like you're not at a show at the Aragon.
Like, it should just be like, thank you, so-and-so wedding guests. You guys were the best.
Yeah, the show, you're here because of the couple getting married. Not like you came to this Chicago, Illinois show.
It is pretty weird.
I was so taken aback by that. Thank you, Chicago, Illinois.
Actually, I'm most taken aback by Illinois. Like, as opposed to Chicago, Idaho.
But still, thank you, Chicago. Like,
Chicago would be like, it's Chicago. But like,
no, that's still bad.
not as bad.
Do not
though.
thank Chicago.
Not as bad, I have to say.
People here didn't buy tickets to your show.
Thank God. That's the other
Like, you're not
thing.
on a tour stop in Chicago.
Thank
You're
God.
here to perform at my wedding. And that's all.
Well, I don't think anyone probably noticed that.
Other updates from the break. Yeah, we had a New Year's Eve wedding. Christmas was fun. This was the first year that Jack was like
Into it.
Yes. Like he was like, ooh, like every gift he opened was like,
The greatest.
yeah, like someone gave him a stuffed panda and he like hugged that panda for 2 minutes.
Really appreciative of
Yeah,
gifts.
like he was like, I don't have a stuffed panda.
I've been looking for a stuffed panda.
Yes, and he doesn't know what kind of animal a panda is, not to put him on blast. Like he just doesn't know.
So what do you think it
Panda?
was?
He has a panda wubba pacifier
Yeah.
at my parents' house. Like the little animal is a panda and we just call them all wubbas. And so he thought he just called it a wubba.
Oh.
He just kept saying wubba, wubba.
Honestly, it's your fault, not his. Anything
You're right.
anything he doesn't know is a blind side of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, panda didn't make the list of
Important animals.
important animals at this juncture, but I will throw it in there.
Now you have to. He has a stuffed one.
He's really into dinosaurs.
They
Which
say that's
is-
an indication of intelligence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's obviously a genius.
I'm just saying. They say that.
You know how he's always singing?
Yeah.
Singing and singing
He's
all the time.
musical.
Yeah. I asked my parents if this is what Steven was like when he was little. Like,
Yeah.
was it just singing all the time? Like, is that what I have to look forward to?
Yeah.
And they said not at all, that I was always singing.
That's a healthy dose of karma.
But I turned out normal, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want a little, like, you know.
Showman.
Yeah.
He's the greatest showman.
He is the greatest showman.
That's so cute. I'm glad he loved it.
So yeah, he loved Christmas, but now, you know, every time he goes to these places, he thinks he's gonna have a present to open. Like he's like,
Hello.
hello. Like he pulled a wrapped gift off the counter that was like for somebody else and was like, oh, another one of my presents is here. I was like, no,
We're done.
this is not for you.
That is a tough thing to learn.
But no, it was fun. It felt like it flew by.
The holidays always do. And then being sick, I was like, give me more.
Sick is just kind of like your baseline these days.
Yeah. It is sad, but we all have our struggles.
It's a long life of this.
Yeah, I'll live. I'm a soldier. I have an icebreaker for you.
Okay.
How many times do you think you tell a white lie in a week? Like a harmless, like, oh, sorry, we can't. We have blah, 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 when really you just don't want to go. Or
Oh, none.
0, right?
I really, yeah.
But, like,
You're not anything close to you, you little liar.
No, I really don't.
Job, we used to call you Lil Fibs.
Which was actual bullshit. I would lie on everyone else's behalf. Gabby was actually telling a story the other day of how I fibbed on her behalf to get her the right bridesmaid dress. Like my little fibs were fibs that benefited everyone.
The right bridesmaid dress for what?
I remember it now that she said it. She ordered the wrong size of a dress that she needed for a wedding and was panicking because like she didn't have enough time. And I called the bridal shop and basically told them they sent the wrong one and they expedited the right one. Even though they did not send the wrong one. They send the 100% right one.
Okay, in that scenario, for sure. But your little fibs are...
I really don't.
Okay.
This is an unjust nickname. This girl, and I thought of this because this girl on TikTok was saying how she tells on average 10 white lies a week.
That's a lot.
That's a shit ton. And other people were in the comments being like, oh, more for me. Like more, same, more. I probably tell 3. Like 3 white lies, and they're mostly professional. Like, oh, I can't do that meeting. I have another meeting. And the other meeting is like a dinner plan.
Why can't you just say you're not able to instead of lying?
I feel like I probably could, but I feel like clients are like, oh, you can't meet me at 7. And I feel bad.
And
So-
it's like, no, I can't meet you at 7. That's not typical working hours.
Exactly. So I feel guilty and I say I have another. A lot of times I'll say appointment. So I'm not even sure if it's a white lie. It's vague.
I personally, number one, do not have the like wherewithal to keep up with my white lies. Like I've found that, like, especially when I'm trying to follow your lies.
I don't really fib that much. Not in like a group setting.
But you'll be like, I told so and so that, even if it's like a work thing, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta remember. Job said she was here.
Oh, well, I don't mean to do that. I don't have any recollection of doing that of late. Do you think I've done it recently?
It's hard to say. I just feel like I can't keep up with everyone's lies on top of my own, and I
Yeah.
don't have that much to fib about.
I think that's what it is. I probably did fib more when I was like max people pleaser, where I felt like I couldn't ever say no to anything.
I think it does. You've hit the nail on the head. It aligns with people who are people pleasers, and I'm not.
It like when I was max people
Like, what's the point in lying? I don't care.
max people pleaser me was like, oh, I can't because I have this thing, but like I just didn't want to, or I didn't want to hurt their feelings. Like it was like I would get tangled up because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. Where now I'm like reaching this point of adulthood, like not a moment too soon, I should say. We're on the
No,
verge
really.
of 33, but like I don't give a fuck anymore.
67, and you know what? I'm finally learning.
Like I just like don't care. Like, can you? No. No is a full sentence, bitch. No.
Yeah, no,
No.
and that's the end of that.
So you're probably right. I was a little fibber back then, but I'm really not anymore.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably gotten better, but like oftentimes you'd have something that I'm supposed to follow along
Yeah,
with.
maybe I did used to. You're not wrong now that I'm thinking about it, but I really don't anymore.
Okay. I really don't. Maybe one a week.
So maybe that girl is a people pleaser and all the people in the comments are people pleasers because you get yourself into that.
The
issue.
people in the comments
Yeah.
were saying lots of
they
white
were like
lies.
oh yeah, 10 easily. Oh, more. Like I think that's a symptom of being anxious to tell the truth. Unless they're sociopaths.
Who are
maybe
they?
Maybe they were sociopaths also.
First of all, hopefully it's not to like their partner or people they're close to, because like
That'd
Killer.
be sociopathic. No,
Yeah.
her example was like with friend groups, like she like if she doesn't want to go to a group dinner, she'll say like, oh, I have to help my mom do blah blah blah, or like she's like they're like pointless. And I was listening to it and I was like,
if you don't want to go to a group dinner, why don't you just say,
I don't want to go.
I can't go to that? And then if they ask why, I don't want to.
Because I don't want to. I think that is a tough thing to say. I don't want to. But I think you can just say no, like, sorry, can't do it. That's ambiguous enough to be like, can't or won't. Who knows?
Usually I say I can't, but then like if someone says, what have you got going on?
Do you think it's rude to press people when they say they can't?
No. Do you?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it when you said it. Like, what do you care?
Like what do you care?
like,
I think it depends on who, but like if I said to you, oh, do you want to go get nails done on Wednesday? And then you said no. And I said, oh, what do you have?
well, that would be different. But I mean, like,
Well, then what if you were like, I just have a really busy work day and like I don't want to slide nails into it? I'd be like, oh, okay. How about Thursday?
yes, because we have a space of honesty. But
Oh.
like, if I tell like an outer tier friend,
We're holding space for honesty.
we're holding space for honesty. I told you the other day, I want us to have a space of no can do, senorita. Like, you need people in your life that they can ask you to do something and you be like, no. And the only reason is that like I don't have the bandwidth. But like if I tell an outer tier friend I can't do dinner and she's like, why? It's like, because I said no.
Low on gas.
Yeah, low on gas, bitch.
Yeah, I think again, I'm like the opposite of a people pleaser. Like it's just like if you're not pleased, that sounds like a you problem.
I'm still a people pleaser.
Yeah, you definitely are. Unless it's like something that like is going to upset somebody, then I'm like, all right, I guess I should like,
I have a pit in my stomach when I displease someone, but I push towards it. I mean, I push away from it.
When you displease someone.
Yeah. When I do something that I know is like makes them annoyed or unhappy.
How often does that happen?
I mean, probably way less than I tell myself.
Yeah, really.
But I'm like, if I like don't let someone down in my mind, I'm like, God damn it.
You know, I don't typically feel like I let someone down. I actually actively try to not let people down.
Me too, but
That's called being a good friend.
No, me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to do something and I can't do it, even though you have not said I've let you down or you're disappointed, I feel guilty.
Even though I could care less.
Right.
Oh,
It's
okay.
self-inflicted.
Sounds like a fun way to live.
I'm working on it, you know?
Well, thank you for that icebreaker.
You're welcome. I don't know where I'm going to get most of my icebreakers if this TikTok ban takes.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my stories.
Ugh.
Okay, so the deadline on TikTok is
so
looming.
sad.
It says it might finally be time for you to tackle all those TikTok recipes you've been saving. Last week, Supreme Court signaled it may uphold the federal government's ban on the app if Chinese owner ByteDance doesn't sell the platform by January 19th. So that's literally in 6 days. Over the course of about 2.5 hours, TikTok's lawyers argued the Biden administration's law infringes on the free speech rights of more than 170 million Americans who use the app. But Chief Justice John Roberts seemed to align with the Biden admin's concerns about national security. He pointed out that ByteDance is legally required to cooperate with the Chinese government, raising concerns about TikTok's potential access to Americans' data. TikTok has repeatedly denied spying on Americans.
Well, I mean, would you ever say you are spying? If you're
Right.
spying, that's like rule number 1 of Spy Club.
So it says the Supreme Court could issue a decision in the coming days or even wait until later this summer. Meanwhile, TikTok has asked the justices to temporarily pause the implementation of the law, which would kick the issue to President-elect Donald Trump. Despite previously pushing for a ban, Trump now opposes it and says he'd prefer time to negotiate a political resolution. So I did see that Trump is in favor of
Keeping it?
keeping TikTok, which is good news for you.
Yes. Although, could a forced ban really do something for my obsession? Yeah. Yeah, it could. I need some space.
Do you? Why don't you just delete it and see how you feel?
Yeah, I'm afraid to delete it now though because people are saying online that if you have the app, like people are, and I don't know if this is true, but people on TikTok are saying that the ban will just regulate people being able to download it from the app store and that it's not like it'll disappear off your phone.
Oh.
It's just like there's so many feel good things. Like I've fallen down a rabbit hole of this user, Love Luxury. It's a resale bag shop in London. And mostly they sell like Kelly and Birkin bags. I could watch it for hours. It's my favorite reality show. Like it soothes me in such a way. These people coming in just like buying Hermes bags.
For a quarter of the price?
Sometimes more, depending if they're collector items because they're secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful, calming content. And it's like if China wants that data on me, like have at it. That's where I guess I'm questioning like what data are they using? Like it's me.
I think they're probably, because like TikTok, the whole thing is that it's so curated, like the
Algorithm.
For You page or whatever, like that, like it really is an interesting look at like consumerism, how to advertise to you specifically, like what you're watching, how long you're watching it for. Like the engagement on TikTok is probably like really prime info for marketing.
Spies. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I don't think that we should have TikTok.
And also other things, like what if people are watching like creepy, like how to build a bomb videos?
Totally.
That's other data that's good to know.
I don't think we should have TikTok to our own detriment. Like, we don't know what we don't know. And if the government, within reason, I like don't want it to be an infringement, but like if there's reason to believe this is a threat to national security, I'm not like, give us the TikTok dances. But I do really love the platform.
I know you do.
And I'm going to miss it.
Sorry.
But I understand.
It sounds like it might be. I cannot possibly see it getting banned.
I've got to show you Love Luxury. You've got to watch an episode. Well, and by episode, I mean a clip.
Is it on Instagram?
I think she has a YouTube channel too.
Oh, a YouTube channel
It's just so fascinating. Like these people are paying like $25,000
for
for a Birkin or a Kelly.
because it's a collector's.
Yes. And I'm like, do I want to start shopping at Hermes?
Yeah. Do you need to start your collection?
Tyler's like, you have got to stop.
You would literally have like when you see like on Real Housewives that they have
Oh,
shoes you don't give a fuck about.
don't give one fuck. I exclusively care about bags.
You love bags and jewelry.
Love both.
If you could have a closet of a collection of one thing,
Yeah. Bags.
it would be bags.
Bags. What would you have?
I don't know. That's what I was just thinking.
Bags.
Like you walk in, they're all on display.
Oh my God. Beautifully designed.
And like, you know, they're like underlit.
Yep.
Oof.
And second would be jewelry.
Like really high end stuff.
No, it doesn't even need to be really high end. Bags would be really need to be high end, but like I'm good with like
Yeah, this is a collection of your Target purses.
no, like jewelry could be like mid-level fine jewelry.
I would say if I had a collection of something, like you walk in and it's just like the most
Rose.
beautiful collection. Clothes.
Huh.
Does that count?
Yeah, I guess. Like what kind of clothes? Like day wear, active wear, night wear.
I guess this is just a regular old closet then. If
Oh.
it's just a
Yeah.
if it's just a collection of clothes, that's what you call a closet.
Like denim,
No.
cashmere.
I'm not really a collector of anything. I guess I could start.
It's never too late.
I like shoes.
Shoes is a good one. You like shoes?
Yeah, I like shoes much more than you.
Yeah, I hate shoes.
I could see myself going shoes definitely more than bags.
Oh, wow. And then you could borrow my bags.
Yeah,
So
we
mine's
could-
like useful.
Yeah, what's nice is you can borrow bags, you can't borrow shoes.
And jewelry. You could borrow my jewelry.
Yeah. So mine's just exclusively for me.
Speaking of like a collection that I would die for, Morgan Stewart, who, just to give you a brief update on her, started on Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, then became kind of a personality on E, now is mostly an influencer and also a fashion designer. She's married to Dr. Phil's son.
She's so funny.
She's so funny and beautiful. She has the best bag collection in her office. And she typically takes a lot of her TikToks and videos in front of this like beautiful collection of Birkins, Kellys, all sorts of bags. So she posted when the wildfire started a really heartfelt, beautiful message where she teared up, which is so not her personality. She's like not an emotional person, and was just like, I've grown up here and it's so devastating. And I can't believe I still have my house and I feel for everyone. And she's been like reposting resources. Like it was a very sweet video. And the way the internet came for her, being like, how insensitive, you would post this video in front of a wall of $100,000 bags. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to have my things? What? Like the internet has lost its goddamn mind.
It really has.
And if she didn't say anything, it would be like, how insensitive. She didn't even comment. She owns these things. She works hard. Why can't she have her things? I don't understand.
I just feel like people are like anything ever that you can comment on, people feel ready to comment on.
Like, get a life. That's the definition of what do you care?
What do you care?
Like, I own these bags. This is where I take my videos.
Are people saying like your house could have burned down, be
They're
grateful or something?
Well, and she was very grateful. Like, she was like, you know, I don't really care about things. Like, it makes me realize, like, the whole point of it was like, you can lose everything in an instant. I'm glad people are safe. It's so devastating. Like, oh my fucking God, I live here. These are my things. Should I burn my own house down? Would that make you happy?
Probably. And even still, there'd be people who were like, but it didn't burn in the same way.
And you're rich, so you can rebuild.
Right.
It's like, oh my, the people are trolls.
I did have a story about the wildfires, obviously, because
Give us the 411.
it's the craziest thing.
So sad.
So people are starting to obviously return to their neighborhoods and homes to find what's left of them. Entire communities have been wiped out, leaving behind haunting scenes of chimney stacks, charred trees, and smoldering rubble. The fires have claimed at least 24 lives, with many people still missing.
So sad.
Among the victims are a father found beside his son, an 85-year-old woman who stayed behind to care for her beloved pets, and a man who died clutching a garden hose in a desperate attempt to save his home. While firefighters have made progress against the blazes, strong winds expected this week could spread the flames and add to the destruction. As residents across economic divides also confront the loss of their homes and the memories tied to them, experts warn of long-lasting mental health effects for all the fire victims, including anxiety and PTSD.
So crazy, because obviously I'm so far removed, but everything that I've read has really alluded to the fact that the city was ill prepared for something that is almost certainly going to take place every year. And as a resident of California, I would just feel like so let down. Like, you just expect the infrastructure to exist. Like, we take it for granted. And to find yourself in the situation and be like, there aren't enough firefighters. There isn't enough water. They have to shut the power off because of the grid. And so there's not enough pressurizers on the water. Like, it's bad enough when these things happen and there's literally nothing you can do. But to then be like, there was things we could have done, and like farmers insurance dropped all these homeowners. Like, there's so many situations that were so avoidable that are going to cause these people to like have nothing. And it's so hard to not say like coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I agree. It also kind of had me thinking about like the news coverage that it's been getting.
Quite a bit.
And it's obviously so crazy. Like, it seems so scary. Like, it's like looks like a apocalyptic world there. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know if it's like it's getting so much coverage because celebrities are losing their homes. Mm-hmm. And that's why like people are more engaged in it. But it's just like people are like, I feel like people are acting like it's more traumatic than some of the other natural disasters that happen. Do you feel that way or no?
I don't know that they're acting like it's more traumatic.
Like, it's just on like every morning show. They're like, and our thoughts are with the people of, and like, yeah, of course, but also like every summer there's stories about how like tornadoes rip through towns in, you know, Oklahoma, and like hundreds of people are displaced.
Well, I think part of it is that it's so ongoing. Like, typically tornadoes, I mean, even Hurricane Katrina, which I would think is probably the last thing that was of the same magnitude in some ways, like with the amount of people who lost their homes and like displacement. Yeah. It happened and then it was over. And then it was weeks and months of dealing with the aftermath, but it wasn't ongoing. Because this is so unpredictable and ever present, I think that's part of the fascination, that like multiple fires start, the wind changes, the humidity changes, and you get a whole new forest fire. So I think that's probably part of it, is like we potentially haven't even seen the worst of it.
Right.
God willing we have, but who knows. And then of course I think it's the celebrity aspect of it. And I also think there's a little bit of that, like you were saying with the PTSD, there's a little bit of that like human interest component, that like there's a story, like I was here when I got the alert, we packed a bag, what did we take? Like, they have time to pack bags, some of them don't have time to pack bags, and so I think naturally people are just like drawn to figure out what's going on, as opposed to something just comes through and like rips everything apart, I think.
No, I mean, I obviously like so devastating, so scary, like not that it's any more scary or less scary than anything else. I just thought like the news coverage has been so crazy, and I was like, maybe like, you know, it's the celebrity aspect that's made it.
I'm sure that doesn't hurt, truthfully.
Yeah.
But I also think it is this like ongoing thing. Like, your brother's obviously in LA. One of my oldest friends is in LA. Like, everyone kind of knows regular people who live there, but the celebrities are the main billing.
Who's like at least on the peripheral of what's going on, for sure.
So sad.
No, it's so sad and so scary. Like the stories that you're hearing of like how people had like no time to even gather their things, or I was reading something the other day that said someone was like cleared to return and then had to evacuate 4 different times.
So crazy.
Like it wasn't like just like a one-time thing. It was like they had to leave, like pack up, go to a whoever's house or a hotel, and then they were like, okay, you're clear to come back. And then it happened again and then again. It's like, who can live that way?
This end.
Yeah.
Well, it was like I was telling you about that person I follow on Instagram who her and her husband were both not home when they got the 30-minute notice and their dogs were there. And so they were like racing to get back and eventually had to go on foot because they blockaded cars and they were like, we're not leaving without our dogs. Which like 100% I'd be running through the forest to get to Ruby and Franny. Like I'm going. So terrible.
What's so crazy is that I don't think people realize that, like, not that I'm a fire expert, but people don't realize that like the number one cause of death from fire related instances is smoke inhalation and not burning.
Yep.
And so like people think like, oh, like, you know, my dogs are in there. Like you get there and like your house is on fire, but your dogs are inside. Like I mean, I personally would because
there are children.
Yeah, our dogs are like real people to us.
Yeah.
But like you like look at like a burning structure and you're like, oh, you know, I'll just
run in
and grab them. But it's like not necessarily you know, catching fire. It's passing out from the smoke.
So scary.
Which is something to consider.
I hope this ends soon. I just want it to be done for everyone's sake so they can start picking up the pieces. It's like it's hard to move on when it's ongoing.
Yeah, totally. And then like people are returning and like being like, my home used to be here. And so they're like, have you seen some of the videos of people like sorting through what was there to be like, is anything left?
I saw this one video where the only things that were left were their Dutch oven made by Le Creuset and a Stanley.
The Stanley survived.
Yeah. It's insane.
I feel like there's a lot to discuss about this, but the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing.
Craziness.
It's so crazy. I think he's the biggest creep in the world. I think his lawsuit against the New York Times is like stupid. We don't need to do a deep dive because so many people have done deep dives, like, and we're late to the party on giving info on it. But I just want to say, like, when more comes out, we'll talk about it more.
I'm sure more will come out.
But I am just like, he's a big weirdo. I've always thought this. Thank you.
I think 2 things can be true.
And you can go back in our earlier Call You Later episodes when you're explaining the story to me and I'm saying he seems really weird and you say no.
I did. And I'm not saying I wasn't wrong. I'm saying I think 2 things can be true. I think he's a fucking weirdo. I think she's also probably really difficult to work with. Her and Anna Kendrick had beef on A Simple Favor. It's been rumored that her and Leighton Meester had beef on Gossip Girl. Like, I don't think she's the most casual, go with the flow.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Both things are true. I mean, as true as...
Who was the first one?
Leighton Meester. Oh, Anna Kendrick on A Simple Favor.
Oh, but all of her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants ladies.
Yes.
Except Alexis Bledel, who seems like she doesn't really get along with anybody.
Yeah. So again, and all of this is hearsay, so I don't want to say. I think both things are true. I think it was a perfect storm. I think he's like a hippy dippy, go with the flow weirdo.
And she's somebody who wants someone to knock before they come into her dressing room while she's breastfeeding.
Well, and I think she's a very like my way or no way, which she's entitled to be. Like, I'm not knocking her.
When it comes to breastfeeding.
I'm not talking about the breastfeeding. I'm talking about the production, like the fact that she had her own cut. Like, I think she's a very like, I am who I am. You'll do what I say. I think she's probably used to that in a lot of settings. It's not like she typically does these crazy blockbusters. I think she's usually the biggest name on a movie. And so I think it was a perfect storm and it got fucked up. I think he did some fucked up shit to smear her. And I think she retaliated. And here we are. Like, I don't necessarily think he's like a sexual predator that people are painting him out to be.
It kind of seems like he might be.
I don't think he's a sexual...
And some of his texts being like, the fact at all that he was like behind
the smear is
like, you are a weirdo. You have a whole fucking podcast about
female empowerment and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And men who claim to be like woke.
Evolved.
Yes. Like, no.
He's a fraud. Baseline fraud. That's very, very clear from what's come out.
Would you be surprised if the next thing that comes out is that his wife files for divorce?
Not surprised because of the whole situation. I think she probably knows who he is. Like, they've been together a really long time. So I don't know if I would be surprised as much as like oh, you're just riding this out. Like, you wanted to do this and this was your opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think he is gross. I'm curious to hear. I mean, I don't think she's going to, but Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin.
I know, they're very close.
I would just love to, like, if you're so close, come on out and speak on it.
He married her. Like, he was the officiant.
I know.
Like, they're very close. I think people, again, back to the whole Birkin of it all, like, people are so afraid to say anything because the trolls come for you.
Yeah.
That you have to be so steadfast and also prepared for your career to go up in flames to say boo.
Well, yeah. Just be ready.
And I don't think she has enough capital to really say anything.
Yeah.
No offense. No offense to Jane the Virgin.
Do you want to do Daily Dilemma?
I'd love to.
Okay, so this person posted, and it had me thinking, like, what's fair?
Okay.
She says, if someone is hosting a shower for you, like a baby shower, bridal shower, should they be able to invite whoever they want, obviously in addition to who you want there? And a lot of people are commenting saying that they have a crazy story about this. So it seems like it's going back and forth between, like, this girl says, like, her mom is hosting a shower for her and she wants to invite her 6 friends who she does Pilates with, like this group of girls from the gym. And she's like, the girl who's having the showers for is like, I've never met these women, like someone that my mom hangs out with, like, for workouts. And she's like, you know, sometimes they'll get coffee, but like, don't know these people. And she wants to invite them all to the shower because she's like, my mom's like, they know so much about you. I'm always talking about you, like talking about the shower. Of course, I want them to be invited. And she's like, why do we need a full table of people I've never met before? In addition to like a bunch of other random ass people who she's like, why? And the mom is saying, like, no offense, but like, I'm paying for this. And the girl is like, no offense, it's for me. And so it's going back and forth on what is fair. And I was curious what you thought.
What is fair?
What's fair?
I'm kind of the mindset that, like, not to be a broken record, but what do you care?
What do you care who's invited?
Yeah, like, as long as your people are on the list, if your mom's paying and these people feel close to her and they want to come, like, is this a hill you want to die on?
Well, other people were saying in the comments, like, my mom or my mother-in-law or my whoever doesn't know where to draw the line. And they're like, and so it's turned into, she was like, I had whatever that turned into a circus basically of like a ton of people I didn't know. And then it was just me like going around being introduced to people at my own celebration.
I gotta be honest though, that's kind of what these things turn into regardless. Like,
it does kind of seem though when you're like totally taking free reign, like, well, I'm inviting all of these people and that's that. It's like, okay, but it's not for you. Like, if you're hosting, let's think about it this way. If I'm throwing a birthday party for you, which we've done a number of times,
yeah.
I'm not inviting who I want to that. I'm inviting who you want to that.
But
it's your birthday.
I think
it doesn't matter that I'm having it for you.
I think it's different when it's like you're like in a mom-daughter situation. Like, for a baby shower or bridal shower, it's like you are also excited to be a grandparent and you are also excited that your daughter's getting married. And so within reason, now, of course, if she was saying she was inviting 26 people she didn't know, you got to draw the line somewhere. But I think it's like when you have a wedding, you typically allow your parents to have some guests at the wedding, regardless of how close or not close they are to you. It's that same concept. They're hosting this wedding, and they should have people there that are celebrating this milestone with them. So it seems to me like a silly hill to die on when it's not like she's saying, I'm inviting these 6 people, you need to cut 6 people. She's saying, have who you want. I'm going to have these 6 people, and it will feel like I have people there to celebrate with.
It kind of sounded from this that it was like these 6 people in addition to.
Right. So like no cuts are being made. And like you're getting to still have the party you want. Just the old adage, why look a gift horse in the mouth, is my whole thought.
Another one. I don't know what it means.
You don't love those. It just means like don't look a great thing in the mouth. You're
like
getting
someone's throwing you a shower.
I think it's
don't
kick. Actually, don't kick. It's don't kick. Fuck that one up. But
okay.
In general, you're getting what you want. Give her a bone. It's like what I always say with people when I'm planning their weddings. Like, if your mom really, really wants something and it's low impact, you got to toss them a win.
What do you care?
What do you care? What do you think?
I don't know. I really was torn going through like reading some of the comments of like, you give a mouse a cookie, to use a phrase.
I love that phrase.
Like, they're like, yeah, I told my mom, like, of course she could invite whoever, but then that turned into like, well, if she's inviting these cousins, then she has to invite these cousins. And it's like turning into a ginormous convention when it was supposed to be like a nice small thing. And I do think that like when you're hosting something for someone, it can get
out of hand.
It can get out of hand, and it can easily get away from like it being about them.
I don't disagree with that. But I also think once those people are on the maybe list, there's confrontation brewing. Because so you have to decide how much you want to take this on. Like, how much will this cost your piece?
What do you mean on the maybe list?
Like, once your mom's like, I want to invite these 8 people, for you to say no 99% of the time is going to result in her being annoyed.
Right, yeah.
So you have to decide how willing you are to go to the mat on it.
I just feel like, let's say I'm throwing my daughter's shower in 30 years and I want to invite the girls that I do Pilates with, and it's one table of people and I'm paying for it. Like, how much does that really affect you, future daughter? Like, if I bring you over to the table and say, like, I know you guys haven't met her, but like, she's going to run around and be talking to everybody, but I wanted to introduce her really quickly. Like, this is her. No need for you to like make small talk with people you don't know.
That's why I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I think people get too in the like, this is about me. Like, okay, relax, Veruca.
But we don't have to, like, the Pilates people feel like that is a justified invite. Like, you see these people a lot and like they're invested in this particular event because like you talk about it. But like sometimes we can really be reaching.
But again, don't let it disturb your peace. Oh, enjoy your lunch. Adios, muchacho. Like, I don't need to sit and schmooze with you.
Correct.
You have to keep your peace. You have to preserve your peace.
It's when there's so many people that you have to get around to schmooze with that then you can't even like have peace because you're schmoozing with.
You say hello and goodbye. Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye.
That's not realistic.
No, it is. I love it. Hi, bye.
No.
Because they're not going to make a scene in the middle of the party.
Not a scene, but like you have to stand there and chat. And then it gets to the point where you're like, I haven't even had a bite of my
What's on the menu?
quiche.
Oh, God. I'll have to help you.
You love quiche.
Yeah, but not for a shower.
A breakfast shower?
Yeah, no. We'll talk.
You love quiche.
I do at like a in-home brunch. You should have like an omelet station if you're going to do a brunch.
Okay.
I digress.
Okay, how about you haven't had a bite of your tartlet?
That's another word for quiche.
Okay, you haven't even had a chance to have a sip of your coffee.
That would be very upsetting.
Yeah, like you got to the table, coffee's cold. You've just barely even sat down and you're like, well, this was an interesting shower.
And then you take your presents home and laugh all the way to the bank.
All the way to the bank where you're investing your presents.
Exactly.
right, well, we agree, I think, on that one.
Yeah, I think we're in alignment.
Just like grin and bear it unless
it's getting outrageous.
Yes, unless it's getting outrageous or like they're trying to invite someone that like, what if they're trying to invite someone that you really don't like?
Do you not like them because like they kind of suck, or do you not like them because they slighted you?
Both.
Well, if they slighted you, your mom should respect that. But,
I
like,
agree.
Like, we have a bigger issue if mom's still inviting a person who slighted you.
Like, what if it's like a friend of your mom's who like overstepped a boundary in some way with you, like was like, you know, you should really do X, X, and X with your mom, and you're like, that's enough out of you, and then you don't have a relationship with her anymore, and your mom's like, well, I obviously.
This sounds like a really specific example. Something that's happened to you.
I have someone for you.
Who?
I was thinking.
Oh, I mean, but she was at my showers. The specific example that you're using was at my showers.
She was.
Yeah.
She didn't slight you so badly. She didn't really slight you, but she is really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But like,
this is an eerily specific example.
but like, let's say you got into like some sort of a little tiff with them, and then you were like, okay, I don't even need to worry about you because I don't see you ever. And then your mom's like, and of course she'll be there, and you're like, skirt.
She can't hurt my peace.
She can still come.
Totally.
Oh, you're like, this is an open fucking house. This comes from your bullshit of like,
the more the merrier.
invite the neighborhood.
Yeah, like the more the fucking merrier.
No, I disagree with you on that. If it's someone that the person personally does not like.
If the person wants to stick their foot down, like I don't give a shit enough. Like unless you've really fucked me over, where's your gift?
They come and they don't even bring a gift.
Well, then I kick them out.
They eat the quiche and.
Well, if it's a key shower, I understand.
Okay.
Ugh.
What a wrap up.
What a doozy.
After 3 weeks,
I'm so happy to be back.
we're back in business.
Call you later.
Call you later. Love ya.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.